So, in these past couple weeks, I've been scrolling through TikTok, and man, TikTok is just addictive. And scrolling through TikTok, and all of a sudden, I'm getting these Star Wars like edits, like sad edits.
Oh no, no, no.
And stuff like that. And so naturally, it made me want to rewatch the film, specifically one, two, and three, because those are my favorites. But you know, I I rewatched them, and three's ending, man, when I was watching it, it just freaking like it got to me, man. It's such a freaking sad story, and story of tragedy and anger and agony and sadness, and just man, and it's just just it's such a tragic story, and the ending is just freaking, it just gets to me. And definitely it's because of Anakin Skywalker, and he's become my favorite character in Star Wars. It's just his character is written so well, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people who don't believe that he's Darth Vader. Like, how can this be Darth Vader? People think it was like an underwhelming character, but to me, man, like, especially with the third movie, to see him make that transition, it's just so freaking, it's just heartbreaking, man. And you know Anakin is a person who holds so much anger and agony within him. He's in pain. He has this internal conflict with himself, and it's because of his attachments. He grew up a slave, and all he had was his mother's love, and that's the only love that he ever knew. And he left her behind because the Jedi made, or specifically Qui-Gon Jinn, made these, like, promises of, he was going to become a hero. He was prophesized to destroy the Sith and stuff like that. And he leaves his mother behind because of these promises. And then him growing up, he knows that the other Jedi don't trust him. They don't believe that he's supposed to be that person. They can sense, he has that anger in him. They sense that something's off, not right with this guy. And they don't give him, the rank of master, which pisses him off. And Obi-Wan is the one that's watching over him. Obi-Wan's the one that's been training him, but Obi-Wan himself is not confident in his ability to train Anakin, which also leads Anakin to not have faith in himself. And this movie, it does a good job of foreshadowing Anakin turn to the dark side. Especially that one scene where Anakin is standing in the shadows, and Obi-Wan steps into the sunlight, and it's such a subtle foreshadowing, but it's so effective. And that's the last time they see each other as friends, as brothers. After that, when Obi-Wan leaves, that's when Anakin starts making a transition to the dark side. And even before that, like in the second movie, when Anakin finds out that the is it Tusken Raiders or the Sand People? I forget. I'm sorry, but yeah, they took his mom, and he just goes and absolutely just slaughters all of them. And that's not the Jedi way, but Anakin just goes crazy, starts freaking killing them, and his mother dies in his arm. And he blames himself for that. You know, he left his mother behind, and like, this is his fault. This is happening. That's what he thinks. And he tells Padme, I'm never, ever, ever going to lose somebody I love. And that's when his attachments problem starts again. And that's what leads to his downfall, is him doing everything he can to protect the ones he loves, to make sure he doesn't lose that love. And it's pretty, it's in a selfish way, like he doesn't want to lose that love because that love is what keeps him going. And that love is what makes him feel validated, and ultimately that's what it is him losing, or him, doing everything he can to protect that love. And ultimately it's him himself that destroys that. I think that's what makes this movie so freaking tragic, man, is, Anakin, he just wants to be accepted. He wants to be, what, he wants those promises of what they made him, that he's supposed to be this great hero, and he doesn't get it. And, and to have everybody doubt him is what's hurting him. And that's, and Anakin just wants to be that person, and all of that just makes him more angry, makes him grow more, have more agony in him. And, and ultimately it's just that love is downfall, when he falls in love with Padme and they get married. That's when he was just doomed. He wasn't supposed to grow attachments, and that's one of the rules. He wasn't supposed to grow attachments to people. And ultimately that's what leads to his downfall. He was doomed right after that, because that's when he just lets go of those rules and just starts becoming attached to Padme, and he's attached to Obi-Wan, and he's attached to the Chancellor. And the Chancellor, even the Chancellor, the Chancellor is manipulating him the whole time. The Chancellor knows exactly what his weakness is, and and his weakness, Anakin starts having these visions of Padme, of her dying during childbirth, and he can't let that happen. He can't lose his love. He can't. He's grown attached to her, and he just absolutely cannot lose her. So he has to find a way to save her. And Chancellor, knowing this, knowing his weakness, is manipulating him, and it gives that amazing speech, or tells him that amazing story of Darth Plagueis Darth Plagueis the Wise. I'm sorry about that. And he throws it in you know Darth Plagueis could save people from death. That the dark side power could help you save people from death, and he knows that's what Anakin wants, and he's just manipulating him throughout the whole thing, the whole time. I mean, and Obi-Wan himself, he grew to love this boy who, I'm sure, I don't know the Star Wars lore, but from what I see in the movie, Obi-Wan also has his doubts in Anakin's. He sees when he has outbursts, and he knows that Anakin will jeopardize a mission to save one of his friends, and that's not the Jedi way. It's always the mission first. We have to win this war, and especially with Obi-Wan, he believes in that. But he knows that Anakin, you know, he knows that Anakin won't do that. He'll choose Obi-Wan every single time over the mission, and he sees his outbursts, and I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan has his doubts, but because Obi-Wan loves him so much, he chooses not to see that. You know what I mean? Like, he chooses to ignore it because he loves Anakin so much. And and especially it's like, the reason that this movie gets to me so much is because of two lines towards the end of the movie. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. When Anakin has fully turned to the dark side, and Obi-Wan and him start battling. Obi-Wan cuts his legs off, and Anakin's being burned. And Anakin just lets out, this like you could hear the hatred and the agony in him, and the pain and the sadness, and he lets out that I hate you. I hate you. Ah, ah, fuck. I hate you. And the way he says it, you just feel it. It goes through your body. You feel it, man. And to hear him say that after every single thing him and Obi-Wan have been through, especially, we have the Clone Wars now. the TV show, and their bond is even more, grown upon and developed in that show. Just after everything they've been through, and Anakin being manipulated to believe that he can't trust nobody, only himself. That I hate you, man. Like that shit just goes through me. It just hurts me. It hurt me so much to hear him say that. And then to even put the like salt in the wound. Obi-Wan, man. Obi-Wan comes with like the most like heartbreaking thing to hear also. And you could also hear it in his voice, that sadness, that disappointment, that failure that he feels within him, feeling like he's failed him. He lets out that, "You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you, man." Like, damn, dude. Those two lines, like, just make the whole movie, man. It just like, it's that ribbon on a present, it brings it all together. And just those two lines like make me feel so much emotion, man. That's the beauty in cinema. But just hearing those two words, like, man, it's for sure my favorite ending in any movie ever, like, for sure, hands down. And Obi-Wan cannot bring himself to finish off Anakin, to kill him, and he walks away. And damn well the Obi-Wan walks away feeling that he failed his master, who told him to watch over this kid and make sure he becomes that hero that the prophecy has foretold. He walks away feeling like he let down that kid in Tatooine who had promises of being that hero. And he walks away feeling like he's failed his brother that he grew to love so much, that he chose to ignore all his outbursts, to ignore the fact that he could see that there's this conflict in him, because he loved him so much and he wanted him to be what the prophecy foretold. And Anakin, we know he becomes Darth Vader, and Anakin goes on thinking that nothing he could ever do will ever redeem the actions that he's made. He goes on thinking that he is this monster, and he was always this monster, and this is what he was always meant to be. So he has to act like a monster because it's who he is. He has to go on knowing that he killed Padme. As much as he was trying to save her, save her and to save that love, to save all the attachments that he's had, he had to go on living knowing that it was himself that destroyed those attachments, that destroyed that love. Living on to know that it was him that killed Padme after trying to save her, trying to do everything he can to save her. And I think all that combined, and just to hear those two words, those two freaking words, man, I think that's why the ending hurts so freaking much. And I think this movie, especially the third one, is just so freaking beautiful, man. Like, it's just so freaking good. And yeah, man, that ending, boy, it's just, man, it gets to me every single time. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna try to do more videos like these, and I really hope you're enjoying them. If I'm not a super Star Wars fanboy, so if I'm pretty sure I missed out on a bunch of lore, more key details, and if I did, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll be glad to read them. I mean, I definitely want to learn more. So if you can leave me some more lore in there, please do, man. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.